Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We are definitely going to be doing more free content as we go. And yeah, they will be different topics, and we will be also having things exclusive on Patreon and Spotify, including story times, which I missed kind of doing. So we will definitely be making more content all around as we go. So today we are going to talk about The Pinkprint by Nicki Minaj. The Pinkprint is the third studio album by Trinidadian rapper Nicki Minaj. It was released on December 15th, 2014 by Young Money Entertainment, Cash Money Records, and Republic Records, departing from the dance pop elements of her previous album, Pink Friday Rowan Reloaded 2012. The Pink Friday is driven by Minaj's traditional hip-hop roots. Minaj co-executive produced the album alongside Birdman, Lil Wayne, and Ronald Williams. So this was an album that really let people know that she was here. The Pinkprint received generally positive reviews from music critics, with many complimenting its production and personal lyrics. It was included in several publications, year-end and decade-end lists. In 2016, it received a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album. The album peaked at number 2 on the U.S. Billboard 200, and with 244,000 album equivalent units in its first week, of which 198,000 were pure sales. So this is when streaming started to kind of step in. And at this time, I gotta say that a lot of artists were still kind of getting used to it. A lot of artists were still more familiar with physical sales and merchandise. So with streaming, there was more of a strategy that you had to do when it came to wanting people to follow you on Spotify and have a subscription with Apple Music, and actually, listening through Apple Music and Spotify, and even just down to YouTube. So, this was that time where it was really starting to set in. It also charted within the top 10 in Canada, Norway, and Sweden, and the top 20 in Australia, Croatia, I think, Finland, and Greece. As of December 2015, it has sold 682,000 copies in the U.S. and has since been certified double platinum by the Recording Academy. The Pinkprint spawned 6 singles: Pills and Potions, Anaconda, Only, Bed of Lies, The Night Is Still Young, and the initially iTunes exclusive track, Truffle Butter. Anaconda peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100, becoming Minaj's highest charting single at the time, while 4 other singles peaked within the top 40. To promote the album, Minaj embarked on her third concert tour, titled The Pinkprint Tour, from March to August 2015, spanning more than 50 shows over the 5-month period. Yeah, this is when she became really busy. When it came to a new album, a new tour, and she also was in a movie, The Other Woman. In 2013, Minaj stated that she would begin writing material for her third album later that year, after production was completed for her supporting role in her first feature film, The Other Woman, which came out in 2014 as well. She noted that there were currently no featured artists on the record and commented that she was just enjoying the creative process. The singles, Pills and Potions, came out May 21st, 2014. Anaconda came out August 4th, 2014. Only released on October 28th, 2014. Bed of Lies, November 16th, 2014. And The Night Is Still Young, April 12th, 2015. I know you guys are wondering, well, where is feeling myself. We'll get to that. So, yes, music, lyrics. She did talk about personal things. The lyrics discuss a wide range of personal issues Minaj has faced, from reflecting on fame and the speed in which her life has moved, to strange relationships with her family, including the murder of her cousin, to her relationship with her mom and her own child, which she refers to from an abortion. There was just a lot of different topics that she talked about, and I'm only bringing out those things because I know that a lot of times that when you talk about different artists, you know, you want to stick to the artistry, and a lot of the things that she was going through to make this art were intense, as for a lot of artists. As far as let's see here. And then, you know, we're not going to talk about relationships or anything like that, but there were a lot of changes in her life. We will leave it at that. Let's see here. Yep, she performed Anaconda August 24th, 2014, at the VMAs. She also performed at the iHeartRadio Music Festival September 19th. November 9th, she performed a medley super bass of Anaconda, and Bed of Lies, those three, at the MTV Europe Music Awards, and also hosted the show. She did a few appearances as well on Ellen, The Today Show, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Saturday Night Live, and then in May 2015 she performed The Night Is Still Young, Hey Mama, and also opened the MTV Video Music Awards in 2015 with Train Them Girls and The Night Is Still Young, and Bad Blood with Taylor Swift. So she came out with Anaconda to perform with, and then there was more songs in the next year after that she performed, because of course the album had released late in December, similar to Pink Friday too. So yeah, there was a lot of promotion going into 2015 for her, as opposed to ending 2014 with an album. Very similar. So as far as October 13, 2024, Minaj announced that The Pinkprint would be available for purchase on vinyl on November 22nd for the album's 10th anniversary. But yes, received generally positive reviews from critics, with many praising the production and her personal lyrics. Assigned the album a score of 70 out of 100 based on 25 reviews, indicating generally favorable reviews. So comparing to her previous work, where you had the re-up, from what I can remember from when I spoke on it, it had 72. So this is not even 2 points off. So with it being a whole new body of work, it was pretty much just as good, and with more reviews, as opposed to having less reviews with a higher score, which is good. Yeah, it was nominated for a BET Hip Hop Awards for Album of the Year, Billboard Music Awards Top Rap Album that was nominated, and it was also nominated at the 2016 Grammy Awards, the 58th Annual Grammy Awards, for Best Rap Album. But she did win an American Music Award for Favorite Hip Hop Rap Album. Yeah. So I do want to pinpoint this, that it went number 2 with 244,000 copies, which we talked about, in its first week, behind Taylor Swift's 1989, which was spending its 6th week at number 1. The album was streamed 16.8 million times across all on-demand streaming services in the United States during its first week. In its second week on the chart, it stayed at number 2, moving an additional 156,000 units, which included 105,000 pure sales. The Pinkprint held the number 2 position for 3 weeks before falling to number 3 on the Billboard 200 as, okay. So yeah, we can get into the track list, but if you guys were wondering, well, why didn't she go number 1 this time? Because I'm referring back to Roman Reloaded, which did debut at number 1. But why didn't she go number 1 this time? Because Taylor was already out weeks prior. And that doesn't sound too far-fetched to recent times. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I love Taylor. I love, honestly, everybody. I want everybody to be great. And I'm saying that from an artist point of view. Like, as far as personally, like, I don't know any of these people. Let's keep that real. Like, I'm not one of those crazy stands that, like, I don't know any of these people. I am reading on their music and artistry, and if I even put in anything that's as to what connects with their artistry, that is to what why it inspired them, that is just to give insight. But other than that, no, I don't know any of these people, but I give my commentary. But yes, let's look at the track list. So, track 1 is All Things Go. Track 2 is I Lied. Track 3 is The Crying Game featuring Jessie Ware. So, for the first 3 tracks, it's very personal. And honestly, I'm not, against it. I think that just even from just going back to Roman Reloaded and even further back to Pink Friday, it's kind of like getting right into, this era, but this was like, all right, I'm a bit more vulnerable. Track 4, Get On Your Knees, featuring Ariana Grande. Katy Perry actually wrote on this song too. Track 5, Feeling Myself, featuring Beyonce. So yeah, like I said, I was gonna get to that. The reason why I wanted to get to that in a whole separate way is because not only did Beyonce have writing credits, but SZA too. So SZA, which I have talked about her as well. You guys can check her out. I did talk about both of her albums, including Lana. But she has been writing for a long time, and she has been around for a long time, more than a decade now. And I'm glad people are catching on, because I remember SZA before she actually came out, but it was just kind of like, oh my God, like, who is this? And then when she came out with Control, it was like, oh my God. And I know a lot of people were kind of like, I mean, she's good. And I'm like, what do you mean she's good? She's great. A lot of these artists are great. Y'all just be taking y'all time, okay? I was so happy when SZA came out with Control. I was like, all right, she just needs to keep going. But besides the point, yes, Beyonce was featured on Feeling Myself. There was a whole music video. It was released on, I believe, on Tidal. It wasn't like on YouTube for a while. And I know that a lot of people were kind of like over that. I feel like they wanted to just, give us something that we weren't expecting, and that's great. For me, and I'm saying this is just me here, I would have wanted them to just kind of just came out with it, because I feel like the sales as far as for her album would have, similar to Rihanna when it came to, certain things. Like, I know that, Rihanna may have wanted to do a little bit more with the anti-era, but that's besides the point. I just know that people did want to see Feeling Myself like in its entirety, and it was kind of like just all over the place after a while. Like, all right, well, someone was able to have a copy, and it's like, oh gosh. But track 6 is Only, featuring Drake, Lil Wayne, and Chris Brown. Track 7 is Want Some More, featuring Jeremiah. Track 8 is Four Door, Avantador. And then track 9 is Favorite featuring Jeremiah. So pretty much by track 9 from track 4, you're kind of getting into the sense of her, you know, getting more, upbeat. It's more up tempo. There's artists that we kind of know, not kind of do, and it's a step further from her previous work. These are not to say that these are not familiar artists, in the sense of outside of this album, but this was a step further for people to really see like who she was. Like, oh wow, you're working with this person, or you have this new song. Like, there was really a drive to see like what was next with her from this album and when this album came out. By a Heart was track 10 featuring Meek Mill. Track 11 is Trinity Them Girls featuring Lunch Money Lewis. Track 12 is Anaconda. Track 13, The Night Is Still Young. Track 14, Pills and Potions. Track 15, Bed of Lies featuring Skylar Grey. And track 16, Grand Piano. So that's how the album ends. It ends on a sad note. Grand Piano was a sad song. Bed of Lies is also a sad song. Pills and Potions, I believe, is a sad song. More or less a talking in the mirror sense of song. Not like at herself, but just like talking in the mirror about just things. And a lot of artists do that in different ways, just so you know. As far as the iTunes Store Edition bonus track, Truffle Butter featuring Drake and Lil Wayne, that was track 17. So if you got it through iTunes, you'd have all 17 tracks. If you were to do the deluxe edition bonus tracks, so I believe that was, the deluxe edition, but it did not have Truffle Butter. I believe that was just only on iTunes. Yeah, from what I'm reading. So the deluxe had Big Daddy featuring Lil Wayne, which was track 17 instead. Track 18, Shanghai. Track 19, Win Again. So that would be like just the album as far as 19 tracks. There was track 20 for the Japanese edition. That was a bonus track too for Whammables. I'm sorry. Whammables. And then there's the Pinkprint 2015 iTunes Store Deluxe Edition bonus content. So there's Truffle Butter being track 20, featuring Drake and Lil Wayne. And then track 21 would be YMCMB and Beats by Dre presents the Pinkprint movie. And that was a movie with a mixture of videos that she had. That was storytelling. It was about 16 minutes long. So there was, the 2015 iTunes Store Deluxe. So it was pretty much those bonus tracks. That was up to 19. And then these extra 2 things. Well, one was a song and one was a featurette. And then there's the Pinkprint Target and International Deluxe Edition bonus tracks. Mona Lisa was track 20. Track 21 was Put You in a Room. So Target had its own track 20 and track 21 that did not have Truffle Butter or the Pinkprint movie. I think the Pinkprint movie was just only on iTunes. And then there's the Pinkprint 2017 Digital Deluxe Reissue bonus tracks, which had Truffle Butter at 20, featuring Drake and Lil Wayne. Then Mona Lisa at track 21. And then 22 was Put You in a Room, and then 23 was Whammables. So by 2017, everyone was able to get the digital deluxe reissue because everything was becoming more digital by then, with the tracks that they may have wanted that was kind of everywhere else. As far as the Pinkprint 24th 10th Anniversary Edition bonus tracks, so they have track 24 with those tracks, so there's more now. There's Turn Your Cap Backwards featuring Sway Lee. Then there's track 15, If It's Okay, featuring David Guetta and DeVito. And then track 26, which is Arctic Tundra featuring Juice WRLD. And then track 27, Remember Me, featuring Parker Agile or Agile. Um, so, yes, in total, as of last year, there's 27 tracks. But in the span of a decade, there was track here, track there, and, of course, a whole another era, which was, and also Pink Friday too, which came out in 2023. But up until last year, there was 2 more albums. The next album from this is Queen. So we will talk more about different artists, and of course we will, get into Queen as well. And of course, I thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll be back with more.